Good morning. I'm Marcia Waters. I'm the director of the Colorado Division of Real Estate. And today we are holding a stakeholder meeting to gather feedback about two proposed rule changes for the Board of Mortgage Loan Originators. One is Rule 4.1 and the other one is Rule 4.2. But before we go into the proposed rule changes and gather your feedback, we wanted to kind of just give you a brief overview of the rulemaking process in general. Just to make it very clear, today is not the rulemaking hearing. That will occur on September 17th with the actual board. But David, do you want to put up the slides?
Absolutely. And here we are. So, Marcia, would you like me to run through the slides here, or?
Go right ahead.
All right, perfect. So, well, thank you, everybody, for participating in today's meeting. This will be a brief presentation, like Marcia indicated, like Director Waters indicated here, on what the process of rulemaking is here in Colorado. The applicable law that we're going to be talking about today is really the Colorado Administrative Law Act, also called the APA, and that's what governs rulemaking in Colorado. A couple important distinctions that I'd like to make before we get too far into this presentation is really the difference between statutes and rules. The Colorado General Assembly is who introduces and enacts laws and statutes, and then they are signed by the governor in order to become law. On the other hand, government agencies, such as the Colorado Division of Real Estate, they promulgate rules and regulations. Rules are specifically designed to interpret statutes, or maybe said in another way, to fill in the blanks between the lines. Rules cannot contradict statutes, though. When a statute or when a state agency creates a rule, it is because it's been tasked with implementing, interpreting, applying, or enforcing a statute. And the rulemaking process is set forth in APA. That process that is set forth must be adhered to strictly while while establishing those rules. There's really four primary steps to the rulemaking process that are identified in the APA. That is the notice of proposed rulemaking, a comment period on the proposed rulemaking, which is in part what we're here today for, and then a hearing on the proposed rule, and then final adoption of the rule. During the public engagement phase, written and oral testimony can be accepted, and that is both at meetings such as today, where oral testimony can be submitted, as well as written testimony that can be submitted either via email or letter, etc. Essentially, testimony is either in support of or in opposition to a proposed rule. When public engagement and public testimony phases close, the public is no longer able to offer those comments. Therefore, both participation from the public as well as from industry during this engagement phase is really essential. There are several different steps that we want to talk about. So let's take a few minutes and discuss what the timeline is for rulemaking. Generally, at any time, you as an interested party can sign up or enroll in notices. Electronic notices are submitted by email and they are free. However, in the event that you do need to receive notices by mail, they can be submitted. You can receive those notices by mail, although there is a fee for postage and handling if you elect to enroll in paper notices. The division can, on behalf of the commission and the board, file proposed rulemakings with the Secretary of State, again, at any time. And this will be published in the Colorado Register. Within 5 days of that publication, in the Colorado Register, an interested party can request a cost-benefit analysis, or also known as a CBA. Then the next step is more than 15 days before the hearing, an interested party can also request a regulatory analysis if necessary. If a continuing or excuse me, if a cost-benefit analysis is requested, the CBA should be posted on the division's website for public review at least 10 days before the hearing. If a regulatory analysis is required, that should also be completed and made available at least 5 days before the hearing. Public comments can be accepted, whether in writing or orally, at any time during this notice phase up to and including the date of the hearing. Rules then must be adopted, if they are adopted at all, within 180 days after the hearing. Within 20 days after the adoption of the rules, the division will submit the final adopted rules to the Colorado Secretary of State for publication in the Colorado Register. Finally, the effective date of the final rules that have been adopted, if any, must be at least 30 days after the filing with the Colorado Secretary of State. So that brings us to today's meeting. We are here to engage with you as interested parties, what we sometimes refer to as stakeholders, on the proposed rules that we will be talking about here shortly. The continuation of stakeholder input will take place through the rulemaking hearing, which is scheduled for September 17th, 2025 at 9 a.m. That will be held via Zoom on a webinar, exactly the same platform that we are on today. And at the bottom of this page, you will see that the registration link to participate in that rulemaking hearing. You can also find this information on the division's website. But the purpose of this meeting is to obtain stakeholder comments in support of or against the mortgage loan origination administrative rules regarding license renewal and reinstatement in two different separate databases. That is both the division's licensing database as well as the NMLS, the National Mortgage Licensing System. We have two screenshots of what the rules are, and I'll just give a very brief description, but essentially Rule 4.1 of the mortgage loan originator rules would be modified to remove references to two databases for renewals, and therefore only requiring registration in the NMLS. Rule 4.2 addresses reinstatements as opposed to 4.1, which is renewals. Again, for those of you that may need this information, reinstatement is for those licensees who failed to renew their license on or before December 31st of each year. And again, the references to multiple databases or both databases have been removed here, making it clear that only renewal in the NMLS would be required if these rules are approved by the board at the rulemaking hearing. So notice participation today. We just have a couple steps for you all to know about. First and foremost, this meeting is being recorded. So if you would like to address orally with the division today, we would ask that you raise your hand in the Zoom platform by selecting the raise hand icon, oftentimes located at the bottom of your screen. You'll be identified by division staff, and when you do that, please identify your full name, who you represent, and what your profession is. And then also, written comments can be submitted through the Zoom's Q&A platform. Again, there's a button at the bottom of the screen entitled Q&A, and you can submit those any written comments that way, and then we would be able to identify or read those out loud here for purposes of the recording today. And again, please state your full name, who you represent, and your profession. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes today. For anyone that would like to address the division today, and I'll pull up a timer here in just a few moments. And with that, with no further ado, if you have any comments, I'll pass it back to Director Waters, and then we can go from there.
And just so everybody's aware, because this is being recorded, we will also provide a copy of this recording for the board members to review in advance of the rulemaking hearing on September 17th. So it looks like Michael Florin is up first with comments.
All right. Michael, I have asked you to unmute, so you should be able to unmute yourself and please proceed. Michael, if you are speaking, we can't hear you yet.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
All right, perfect. My name is Michael Florin. I'm the owner of a small brokerage, Low Cost Mortgage, located in the state of Colorado. My history is about 8 or 9 years in mortgage lending and licensed in several states for the entire time period that I've been doing mortgage lending. Heavily in favor of this rule. It's going to overly simplify the process for loan officers nationwide to help bring in more competition into Colorado. It's also going to help stop potential problems like we had this last year, where you had several loan officers that thought they were renewed, and in fact, they weren't because of the separation of the different databases. Personally, I ran into that issue where I've licensed for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years or so, and everything's fine. And then one year, I think everything's fine, and it's a slight hiccup. And that was quite a fun few days right there till we get it sorted out. So in all reality, simplifying it into one database, I think it's going to save Dora quite a bit of money and oversight and headcount time, and it'll streamline operations, and it puts you in line with all of the other states. Because not all, I can't say all, but of the states that I'm licensed in and have been licensed in, they only use the NMLS because it keeps it simple and in one place. So that would be about it for comment. I'm good.
Thank you, Michael.
Yep, thank you.
So the next is Cheryl Dingwall-Keckreitz.
Cheryl, I have asked you to unmute and see.
Okay, I'm unmuted. First of all, I just wanted to say hello to Marcia Waters. I was on the original Originator board many years ago. So hello to Marcia. And I just want to say I agree totally with what Michael said. I think that will make things a lot simpler.
Well, it's good to hear from you, Cheryl, and I hope you're doing well.
I am. Thank you. Retired mortgage broker, I should say.
Congratulations. Anyone else wish to give comments? This may make our meeting much more efficient than we expected it to be. So I think if there's no other comments, we can basically just kind of conclude this meeting, and we will provide the comments that were given to the board members. But I appreciate everybody that logged in today. This is our first round of doing stakeholder engagement this way. And you guys definitely gave us kind of a platform to ease into this process. So thank you, and I hope you all have a very nice day.
Sláinte.